Hi there, and welcome to Sunday's Serenity. I think that this is just a trial run with this because I haven't actually recorded, I haven't actually done a live meditation on the page before. I did a little short mindfulness practice on Thursday's therapy, but I'm not sure how a longer meditation will work in this space. But what I was doing when the experiment was on was recording it and then just uploading the video. But I thought I would try this live. So it might be a bit difficult if people actually come on midway and discover that I'm in the middle of a meditation. But hopefully as the weeks go on, I will give a bit more notice than I did for the 15 minutes before this one, and give you a better idea of the time that will be on, and then you can tune in. So if you're catching the recording, welcome to today. And yeah, so live you don't get any second shot at it. But when I was doing the video recordings of meditations, I never did a retake. So this is just what I do. I trust that whatever words I'm given are meant for you. And on that note, I did think that it would be great to draw an angel card for everybody that tunes in. And it's about taking your time making a decision. And I'll take a picture and put it in the comments just so that you can read a bigger version of it. But I really think it's about trusting, detaching, and just letting the situation naturally unfold. And I think, this week's topic was COVID. So there's not a lot we can do about it because it's just here. But we can look after ourselves, we can keep ourselves safe, and we can try and keep those around us safe. So maybe that's partly what it's about, because this meditation is to be about finding some peace in the sort of current climate that we're all living with. So I invite you now, if you would like to, just close your eyes gently and listen to my voice and decide that there's nowhere else to be, there's nothing else to do except listen to this little meditation, this little visualization I think that I'm going to take you on. So making yourself comfortable and just becoming aware of your breath going in at the tip of your nose. So breathing in at the tip of your nose and breathing out there. And again, there's nowhere else to be, nothing else to do if you've tuned into this meditation. It's time for you. It's time for you to spend in a little bit of peace, a little bit of quiet. So just acknowledging any thoughts that you have around just now, and perhaps taking your attention just into your mind, as if you could just float into your mind and have a look around to see what your thoughts are like at the moment. Perhaps you'll discover that you're feeling a certain way, perhaps tired, frustrated, indecisive, anxious. Just notice what's going on in your mind. You're not trying to change anything. You're not trying to stop your thoughts from coming in. You're just noticing what's going on inside your mind at the moment. Perhaps it's nice and quiet in there, which is great. Perhaps you're just noticing that you've got lots of thoughts coming in back to back. And all of that's okay. We don't have to control our mind. We just have to accept what we find and then choose to perhaps change to a more positive thought than the one that we find is inside our head at the current moment. So just noticing what's in your mind at the moment, and then choosing to come back and focus on your breath going in at the tip of your nose. So breathing in, telling yourself you're breathing in, and breathing out, telling yourself you're breathing out. You don't have to change your breath. You're just noticing that you're breathing. Breathing in, just noticing where the in-breath becomes an out-breath. And just allowing the out-breath to flow effortlessly. There's a little bit more effort in an in-breath, but not much. It will happen whether we make it happen or not. But we're just paying attention to each breath going in. Breathing in and breathing out. Eyes gently closed. Comfortable in your position. And just noticing your physical body. So noticing where your neck is. We don't often bring attention to your neck. So notice your neck. Notice that it holds your head onto your shoulders. Notice that your throat is inside of your neck and your neck protects it. Our breath goes down through our throat, down into our lungs. And our nutrition goes down through our neck, through our throat, into our stomach. So just be aware of these things now. Be aware of your spine running down the middle of your back. Be aware of where you've placed your hands. Be aware of all the contact points of your body with the surfaces that you're on. So just noticing that physical body. And now I just want you to imagine, so let your higher self take over, or your imagination. And if you don't see in pictures, just tell yourself the story of where we're going to go on this little visualization. And we're going to go down a little path. So just imagine that you're going down a little path. You don't have to know where it's going. It's a perfectly safe path. And the scenery around you is unique to you. You could be anywhere on this little path, but it's somewhere safe, it's somewhere comforting, it's somewhere where you wish to be. And you just make your way along this little path, noticing what's on your left, noticing what's on your right, noticing whether you're by yourself or noticing whether there are people around you. Noticing whether you might be joined by a guide or an angel. And just allowing yourself to tell yourself the story of this little path. And up ahead you can see that there's a clearing. It's a bright clearing. Just notice what the sky's like as you come out into that clearing. Just noticing what's around you. Just noticing any thoughts that are coming in, trying to take you away from your visualization. And I want you to imagine or to see or to tell yourself that there is, bizarrely, a clothing line in this clearing. So there's clothing poles, and for those of you who don't know what those are, it's just poles that are spaced apart, and in between the poles there is a wire, and we can hang anything on that wire. And where I come from in Scotland, we hang our laundry outside, and often on clothing lines like this. But for the purpose of this exercise, this visualization, this meditation, the poles are whatever colour you would like them to be, and the wire can be any kind of material you want it to be. And at the bottom of one pole there is a basket, and in that basket there are many, many things that represent the way you're feeling. And I want you just to notice that there's pegs, clips, that you can put these things from the basket up onto that line, up onto that clothing line. So I just want you to do that. I just want you to look in the basket and pick out something that represents an emotion that's going on for you just now, and pin it, whether it seems ridiculous or not, pin it onto that clothing line. So just noticing that when you look in the basket, if an emotion pops in, thinking about what it's attached to, and imagining that you can place that onto the washing line. So just doing that for a few minutes, a very few minutes. There might be little in your basket, but be curious about what's in there. Be curious when you look into the basket what feeling comes up for you, and just notice what that feeling is attached to. And even if it's something huge and heavy, just know that you can pick it up out of that basket and you can pin it onto that line. You have the power, you have the strength. So don't think that that emotion that's attached to that huge thing cannot be pinned on this line. A representation of it can be. So just gently with yourself, without getting wrapped up in the emotions, just look in your basket, take out that emotion, that attachment, and pin it onto your washing line. Just noticing whether you make your washing line spaced out a very equal distance from each other. Notice whether you don't really care how you pin it up as long as it gets up there. Notice whether you use one peg or 2 pegs or 3 pegs. Just be aware of how you hang up your emotions on that washing line. Be aware of the emotions that you are pinning up. Be aware of what they're attached to. Be aware of what you think about the exercise, about the meditation. These are all indications of how you're feeling. And that's what this meditation is for, to discover how you're feeling at this present moment in this current world situation that we're in. And perhaps some of these emotions are linked directly to COVID, linked directly to the pandemic and how it's affecting you. So looking in the basket, maybe there are more things now that I've mentioned COVID, emotions, situations that are affecting you that you can pin onto that washing line. And perhaps you've got the first row full and you need to go onto a different line between another 2 poles. And that's okay. You might end up with a square of poles with the washing lines all full. And that's okay. Because what you're doing when you're pegging up those emotions is you're becoming aware of them. You're noticing them. And then once they're all pinned up on those washing lines, you can see them all. You don't have to get involved in them. You don't have to drown in them. You're putting them up there. And just in a minute or so, we're going to release all of those emotions. So I'm just going to leave you quietly. And if you've finished pegging up your emotions, there is a chair. There's a chair that you can look at whatever you've pegged up on that line. If you've pegged up something on that line, you can sit and you can look at it. You can ponder it for just a moment while everyone else finishes. So just giving a little bit of time longer in case there's time to pick up more things from that basket if your basket is not emptied. But if it's not emptied, I want you just to gather everything that's left in it and really just peg it all together with your last huge peg. And sit on the chair and just look at those emotions. Look at those feelings that you are experiencing just now. And I want you to imagine that the biggest gust of wind that you have ever experienced is going to bypass you, and it's going to lift all of those emotions into the air. It's going to unpeg them all. That wind is going to take all of those emotions up into the sky, and you're going to watch it happen. You're going to feel it happen. You're going to feel the release of all these emotions that you have pinned, all these situations that are troubling you just now. That gust of wind is taking them away. You're perfectly safe on your chair. The wind is not taking you with the emotions. But that gust of wind is taking them higher and higher into the sky until you can no longer see them. The washing line is now empty. Empty of the emotions that you put there, that you pegged there. Some of the pegs might still be there. That can happen. When the washing is blown away, the pegs are left. So when these emotions have been blown away, perhaps some of the pegs have been left. And they just represent what you've let go. And if the pegs have also gone, then the empty line represents what you've let go. And that might just be one thing for you, or it might be many things. It might be something small, or it might be something huge, or many huge things, or many small things. But whatever you've experienced was meant for you at this moment, to help you release whatever's going on that doesn't really sit well with you, that isn't doing you any service at the moment. Negative emotions don't serve us. They lower our immune system. And in these COVID times, we want our immune systems to be strong. So releasing negative emotions and focusing on more positive ones will help us to stay strong and less likely to develop any illness. So I invite you to take one last look at that washing line, now empty. And I want you to stand up and head back along that little path that you started on. And just notice whether the path feels any different. Sometimes it does after we release our emotions. Sometimes our steps can feel lighter. Sometimes the scenery can feel brighter. Sometimes the sunshine has come out of the clouds. Just be aware if there's any difference. Even if you don't feel it, there will be a difference if you've let something go. It will go with you for the rest of the day today and hopefully on into next week. And the awareness of having those emotions that you let go can also help you to notice if they creep back in or when they are appearing again in your awareness. So for now, I want you to find yourself back on your own chair or whatever surface you're sitting on. And I want you to feel your physical body again from your toes. So wiggling your toes, noticing your feet, noticing your legs, your knees, your hips, your pelvis, your spine running up the middle of your back. Notice your tummy. Notice your chest expanding with your next breath. Notice your shoulders. Perhaps you can let them fall away from your ears a little bit more. Noticing your neck, your throat, your ears on the side of your head. Maybe you can wiggle your ears and smile at the thought of that. Wiggle your fingers, your thumbs. Notice your wrists, your arms, your elbows. Become aware of the back of your head, the top of your head, your forehead. Notice your eyes behind your eyelids. And notice the gentleness of your eyelids. They're very gentle and they're very fragile, but they do a great service protecting your eyes, allowing them to rest. Notice your teeth and your tongue inside your mouth. Be aware of your lips. Be aware of the space between your lips and your nostrils. And bring your attention to your breath going in at the tip of your nose, breathing in and breathing out. And just noticing that breath again, allowing it to connect you and your body, your physical body together. Really feeling the next couple of breaths. Breathing in, you know you're breathing in. And breathing out, you know you're breathing out. Taking a couple of deeper breaths. Really feeling your chest rising and falling. Really feeling that air going in at your nostrils. And out again. Breathing in clear, fresh breath. And breathing out calm, peaceful breath. Breathing in clear, fresh. Breathing out calm, peaceful. And just gently opening your eyes when you're ready. Just making sure that you have a drink, if not right now, just as soon as you can. Being aware of your feet and making sure that they're planted firmly on the ground when you get up and rejoin your day. And I wish you a wonderful rest of your day and a wonderful week. Namaste.